It's about time we got to the most shpadoinkle review ever put on the channel. Cannibal the Musical is the debut film for director Trey Parker and co-producer Matt Stone, and it's just fantastic in every way, shape, or form. The film is the true story of wilderness guide and prospector Alfred Packer, who was tried and convicted of cannibalism in Colorado for possibly eating his 5 fellow travelers when they got lost on their gold mining journey from Utah to Colorado. So naturally, the perfect story for a rollicking musical comedy good time. The film began life as a 3-minute trailer for Parker's film class at the University of Colorado at Boulder. And with the trailer itself being a piece of comedy gold, they were able to raise $125,000 to turn it into a full-length feature. With the movie mostly shot on weekends and spring break, cast members later said that some of the crew failed their film history class because of it. If anything, they should have gotten extra credit because they made film history! Filmed in 1993 and released by Troma in '96, the film is a love letter to classic Hollywood musicals, westerns, and the lore of Alfred Packer himself, who was huge around Colorado, as the movie was originally titled Alfred Packer the Musical before Lloyd Kaufman suggested it be changed since not many people outside the area have heard of Packer. Even the opening says Alfred Packer the Musical. Wait, released in 1954? Just how old is Trey Parker? I remember showing this to friends a long time ago and them being like, violent scenes cut out? What? And then the movie opens with the most violent scene in the film, and where a good portion of the movie's budget went. Wait, this really is an old movie, clearly one of the forgotten films of Herschel Gordon Lewis. The money was well spent here, as some of these effects are really damn good. This murder sequence is the version of the story told by the prosecutor at Packer's trial.
Oh, gross!
Mr. Garrison is not amused. The scene was filmed at the actual courthouse Packer was tried in, with real transcripts being used. And also that's Trey's dad Randy playing the judge, not to mention other great references.
But that's not the way it happened.
I hope in the real story Packer did reference the Star Trek episode Court Martial. The movie is full of little Easter eggs, like Parker being credited as Juan Schwartz, a nod to one of Packer's aliases, John Schwartz. The opening mimics Rodgers and Hammerstein, with instrumental versions of songs that would be played later. This really is perfect to watch after Paint Your Wagon, especially with the drawings dissolving into a live-action shot of the film. A lot of the movie is told in flashbacks to reporter Polly Pry, played by Toddy Walters, complete with accurate touches like how the real-life Packer built dollhouses while in jail. Though Parker's Packer may be more intense about his horse Leanne.
Why don't you tell me about, Leanne?
You know her?
And I love the expressions on her face when she slowly realizes he's talking about a horse. But what I love even more, the shpadoinkle!
I think I know precisely what I mean when I say it's a shpadoinkle day.
We're now in the past, showing a much more happy-go-lucky, innocent, and naive Packer. It's surprising to find out that when the song Shpadoinkle was written, it wasn't originally intended to be in the finished film, as it was written as filler, but Parker was given the right advice that it needed to stay. If anything, to see how great he is at these Roy Rogers, Gene Autry type moments.
Lucky shpadoinkle.
But on with rebuilding the destroyed sets from Paint Your Wagon, as these miners need a new guide after what happened to Lucky Larry.
Oh, that's Lucky Larry. He was struck by lightning last night. Gosh, is he gonna be okay?
I was told the violent scenes were cut. One of the characters is Mormon minister Shannon Wilson Bell. I see why this story was appealing to Trey Parker. There's awesome cameos too from their university professors, like the great Stan Brakhage playing Dean Bakar's dad, and Don Yanacito as Matt Stone's dad. I love that Humphrey's dad just seems like he wants to get rid of him.
You've always said you wanted to get out of Utah.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did. I distinctly remember you saying you wanted to get out of Utah and go east.
No, I didn't.
We'll just hang back with your brother Napoleon Dynamite, Humphrey. Now they're off to Breckenridge to find gold. They're so happy. What's the worst that could happen? These actors are all amazingly genuine.
It's a long, long way for us to go.
There were a couple of songs cut from the movie, one of them being Don't Be Stupid, that was supposed to happen around this moment, but it does work best with the scene being a funny reprisal of Shpadoinkle. And with the 15 horses being used for Leanne, it's funny noticing whenever the horse changes colors, there's references to not just musicals, but Friday the 13th.
You'll never come back again. It's got a curse on it. Provo?
Complete with Trey Parker doing the dubbing. This actor himself was a local Alfred Packer impersonator. Hell, there's references to shows that don't even exist yet.
Howdy.
Damn, Cartman's been around since the 1800s too! Already, they're getting along great.
But if you can't get along with the others, I'm gonna have to put you in timeout.
In what?
It's understandable they'd start eating each other. When we come back, someone's getting put in timeout.
In the tradition of Friday the 13th, Part 2, and Oklahoma.
I'm shatterproof.
The movie needs villains, hence the trappers showing up. You can tell they're evil by the googly eyes on the skunk hat. Frenchie and his gang are also headed to Colorado territory. By George Noon, it's a race! You can't go wrong with an animal reaction shot. The Burbs taught me that. When you rewatch it, there's cool things you'll notice, like an instrumental of the Trappers song playing that would later be sung in the movie, and plenty of gags that still work.
You son of a bitch, Humphrey.
Oh, come on, you haven't even tried it yet.
I'll try it. It's what I do. Their chemistry with each other's great. There's an awesome balance between jolly and vulgar.
Okay. Well, fuck you. How's that for constructive?
That's great. Now go to timeout, mister.
Hell, some of them are like slasher movie types, as Noon wants to get to Breckenridge because of all the beautiful girls.
You know, I mean, the women there are just so...
Mormon.
Once again, Trey Parker's voice. But this musical March in September, we gotta spotlight more horny songs.
That's all I'm asking for.
That's all he's asking for.
Something I can test. A gal would suit me best.
Even with their budget, they got so many great shots out of their locations. Plus, there's little oopsies you can see with movies out of film school, like a brief glimpse of Parker saying cut at the end of a shot. The cat, though, is another bad omen, as Packer's horse Leanne has run off, taking all of their food with them. Interesting trivia about that. The horse Leanne and that plotline was inspired by Parker's real-life breakup with his fiancée Leanne.
She's not lost. She just took off.
No, she didn't just take off. We were friends, and friends don't just take off.
And yeah, you can kind of tell. However, that's not the worst thing to happen today.
Watch out for that bear trap.
What?
Or the most shpadoinkle. This part's great. I go from saying, ow, that looks like it hurts, to this is hilarious.
Open it like this.
Get her off, please.
Matt Stone is amazing in this. Hell, when they get to the Green River, we still quote this line a lot.
We could take our wheelbarrow, build it into a little boat, and then ride it across, and then build it back into a wheelbarrow again.
That's what I do in Oregon Trail. There were some injuries on the set, with Parker suffering a hairline hip fracture from falling off a horse to cold shock and nearly being swept away by the Gunnison River that was doubling for the Green River. It may look like they're close to the edge, but they are way the hell out there. But they all survive for the campfire scene.
Just do what I'm doing. Just pretend like you're laying next to a nice soft woman.
What?
I too miss camping. A campfire clearly calls for another song, this time about missing Leanne. Delivered serious but hilarious. Even the reactions get a laugh out of me.
When I was on top of you.
Subtle. Whether it's singing comedically or delivering it serious, Trey is outstanding in this film and sells all of this. Trey Parker is someone I've always thought was wildly underrated as a leading man. Between this and Orgasmo, I wish he did more on camera work, same with Matt Stone. They're both great together in Basketball. I know they don't care for that movie, but I always liked it. They're excellent together here too, like this funny bit after they cross the Colorado River.
The biggest fucking river I've seen in my entire life, thank you very much, he said, just with water.
Didn't used to be that big.
Hell, I love that they go to some of these actual locations. No green screens, they're really there. The most shpadoinkle canyon in the U.S. In the real story, the party did happen upon the Ute tribe on their travels, though there may have been some differences.
He says, welcome to the land of blue light.
He just signed Jesus Christ is dead. But God, however, is not. Even when they're yelling at them, one of them apparently says, "This movie is really stupid," in Japanese. I have the feeling in real life it wasn't the Nihonjin tribe, which means Japanese people. The extras are played by Japanese exchange students, as Parker had a double major in music and Japanese. Plus, the chief is Masao Maki, owner of Sushi Zanmi in Boulder. He can also be seen in Orgasmo. I think they may be losing the race with the trappers.
The group of assholes like yourselves came through here.
I think I know who those assholes are. It was worth this stop to see flirty George Noon. Best part is him actually jiggling his keys in his pocket. But downside though, we all hate running into 80s bullies.
What happened to your horse, Packer?
She ran away.
These bullies though at least come with a song.
I can catch a helpless animal.
And yes, that's Trey Parker dubbing over the singing. There's some great sight gags here, and funny tone changes, but my favorite part of the song is the dude who's too far in the background.
Yo-ho! One thing for sure.
This movie really was ahead of its time in many areas.
The song's an F sharp major!
I think they're the same thing. I mean, E flat is the relative minor of F sharp.
No, it isn't.
Look, it invented internet arguments! Sure, I could say more trivia, but really you should listen to the great audio commentary of the movie where they all get properly shit-faced. Though getting back to the history about the trial, apparently someone really did throw a tomato at Packer. And with the judge's death sentence being the actual transcript, I hope that means that he also slightly danced when Packer was being taken away. Clearly with the sheriff walking around like Popeye, this calls for a sweet little romantic song.
What is this magic I feel?
Sure, this is almost a song that does kind of slow the movie down a little bit, but the scene still does work. The song is memorable like the rest of them, and there's funny bits in it too, like the expression on his mugshot, and the guy who comes in to wonder what the hell she's staring at. And it's an important scene as it sets up how she's gonna try to clear Packer. Just because he's sentenced to death though doesn't mean he can't finish his story. Obviously it's picking up from one of the lost training sequences from Return of the Street Fighter. There's fun little indie movie stuff I can relate to, like how it seems like the actors here are filmed separately, and you can hear the background noise change a little between the shots. There's a lot of stuff here that's still true, like the tribe wanting the party to stay through winter, but them being insistent on leaving to get the gold, though here it has more to do with Packer wanting to catch the trappers and find his horse. The weather seems okay, they can leave.
Yeah, but he didn't say anything about this!
They're fine.
This canyon is so beautiful.
See? It's always best to remain positive. Trey Parker was also inspired by the Odyssey when writing the script, hence running into a Cyclops, though a bit more southern than before.
Look away! Look away! Look away! You stupid Yank.
Yes, from now on that is permanently the lyrics to that song. I'm relating to this hardcore. The fake beard looks like my fake beard from the Cinema Snob movie, and all the cold and snow is making me homesick for another Cinema Snob movie. Both of those movies sadly lacked a musical number though.
Oh, let's build a snowman, we can make him our best friend.
No joke, I've seen this movie so many times that when someone mentions, "Do you want to build a snowman?" I think they're talking about "Let's build a snowman." You can see some director trademarks here that would later be in South Park as well, like hiding aliens in various shots with the alien head on the snowman. Despite one of them being optimistic, the party is forced to eat their own shoes to survive. Sure, they say it's bad, but it can't be as bad as a decades-old Reggie bar. Get ready for the twist. By God, he's Kyle this whole time. The more frostbite they get, the more desperate and insane they get. Not just with the musical numbers.
We can make him not so tall.
It was the right thing to do. They already sung that song. It gets hilariously dark when they all decide to eat Swan, like an almost song that happens, except he's dead. Oh, they can eat the body's dummy double. With the opening scene and the cannibalism, surprisingly it was the only Trey Parker movie that wasn't threatened with an NC-17. I love that he's straight up just eating a foot. I see that prop in Spirit Halloween all the time. Sometimes you can tell when the drugs are kicking in the writing process, like the dream sequence featuring an interpretive dance with Packer and his dancing double. I love me a good obscure reference, and this leads to one hell of an obscure movie reference. Okay, so this isn't the only movie about Alfred Packer. There was another Packer movie in 1980 called The Legend of Alfred Packer, which is amazing to watch both movies back to back because they're pretty much the same movie, except the 1980 one is a straightforward survival thriller that has a scene where a character has a nightmare and wakes up screaming Ike. It's been a while since I saw that one. I can't remember if there was anything about tap dancing.
Now remember when Swan was building that snowman? Yeah. How the hell did he make that tapping sound with his feet?
It's my job to point out those things. The movie is so loaded with good jokes that you can hear funny dialogue happening under Trey Parker's narration, like Noon talking about how he's never gonna get laid, and it's consistently great at callbacks to previous songs. Except now they're dying and all. When we come back, who's ready for dessert?
In 1874, a small group of men with a dream leave the warmth of a boarding house to search for gold.
I don't remember. You're lying! No!
How far would you go to stay alive?
Now that we're back, it's interesting doing an episode on a movie I've seen 100 times because I get so far ahead of the movie and the notes process that, for instance, when I'm writing notes on this scene, the movie itself is still on the Cyclops part. Even though the movie is a comedy and a parody of the situation, all the actors, Stone, Parker, Dean Bakar, Ian Harden, John Hegel, and Jason McHugh, are so good together that you really are pulling for them to survive in these mountains. The movie plays along with one of the confessions that Packer made, the version where he goes out to scout, and then when he comes back, it was Shannon Wilson Bell who went insane at the others, and Packer had to kill him in self-defense. Complete with this reaction, I'm sure.
What are you guys doing?
I do really like Harden's performance, especially.
I mean, now we have enough meat to last us for weeks. Hell, we may even make it till summer! Yes, sir, the Lord works in mysterious ways.
He does a commendable job of being believable as a desperate, insane man, and also in his early scenes as a peaceful minister. He pulls off the arc. It was one of only 2 projects he acted in, but he did play drums on the Trapper song and Hang the Bastard in the movie as well. The 2 actors' deliveries work well opposite each other.
You know what, Bill? I think you've really lost it.
You're not telling anybody anything ever again!
And again, the effects are quite good. Here's another part where the trailer's promise of In the Tradition of Friday the 13th Part 2 comes in. I think one of my favorite recurring gags is when a song almost happens. I wonder what he was gonna sing. At least he probably doesn't feel too cold or hungry anymore. Even with all the cold, Parker said the worst part for him in doing it was the annoying fake beard and the crepe hair that he had to wear, swearing to never wear crepe hair again, until they started doing Crepe Hair Day at the South Park studios. Maybe I should start doing Crepe Hair Day. Parker makes it out safe but under heavy suspicion. And this guy, he's my favorite minor character, for one blooper that's rightly left in the movie. He's supposed to finish his line, but forgets it and walks away, and you can even see Trey's laughing from the back of his head.
You know what they say about sunrise.
I've watched that clip far too many times. And best of all, he stops laughing and turns around to finish the scene. Had to eat his friends, try to kill a slasher villain, and his horse left him for some trappers. It's best to have a drink, because I already used the Satan Bite the Dust reference last week. I can't do it 2 weeks in a row. Best just listen to the scene.
How does it feel to be riding my horse?
Come off it, Packer. Everyone in this town has ridden your horse.
Again, very subtle.
Packer! Packer!
I fucking love this guy. And at least the Cyclops made it out alive.
You little bastard, now you must die.
He had to make it back. It's Edward Henwood, the same actor who plays Launcenheiser. Thankfully, Packer is given the wise advice to cut out the next song Shatterproof. You can hear the song in the trailer, and the instrumental of it here. Plus, you can find the deleted scene, which they cut because they thought it made Packer look too tough.
I'm shatterproof. There ain't nothing you can show me. I'm still standing tall, so you all can't blow me.
Yeah, I can see why. It does suddenly feel out of character. You know what the scene does need, though?
'Cause I represent a whole new breed of Christian of today.
Okay, fine. Another Satan Bite the Dust reference. Looks like we're all caught up. Well, okay, one more cutaway gag.
I would have been better off just letting those people catch me and kill me.
Why?
You ever been to Wyoming?
Hello? Actually, I've never been to Wyoming. Tell me, people from Wyoming, is that accurate? The movie climaxes with the hanging scene, but I don't know. I smell a conspiracy. Matt Stone, what are you doing here? Is the party still alive? This is a great ending scene. Shpadoinkle is my favorite song in the movie, but this is the best musical sequence in the film.
Hang the bastard, hang him well. Send his sorry soul to hell.
For the budget and a first-time film, the choreography, the editing, the humor, it all works, and the song is great. The real Leanne is in there somewhere too, as she helped with the choreography of the scene. And look, alien peeking out of the barn, and I recognize something else.
His vents will pop out all over his head.
I think Trey Parker's voice may be half of the cast. Let's just all hope this is a musical with a happy ending.
Shpadoinkle.
I insist those be my final words. It's okay, it's got a happy ending. He gets a stay of execution because the events happened on Ute territory. But I wonder if this happened in real life, since the mob is there for blood.
Yeah!
Oh, ow!
Someone will eat that head.
You don't want the horse?
No. I think I know what I want now.
Oh, and the horse dies too. Thus ends this love story of cannibalism and music. And then they bang. Or they died, I don't know. There's no sequel where Shannon Wilson Bell comes back as an Old West Jason Voorhees. As you can tell, I love this movie. So many things make it great. It's certainly an inspirational film, and seeing how great these guys pulled this off as being a first feature out of film school and with such a small budget. And seeing the beginnings of Parker and Stone, who would go on to become two of the best and most fearless satirists of our time. It's a comedy musical where it's consistently hilarious, with great comedic timing, and as a musical, every song works. Every single one of them is memorable, quotable, and will be delightfully stuck in your head and bring a smile to your face. The movie's developed such a following, it's even had multiple stage versions performed over the years. see this movie and experience the musical joy that is Cannibal the Musical. We've got 1 week left in Musical March in September, and we haven't done a poll in a while, and I've got a list of numerous musicals I've been meaning to get to over the years, so let's make it a Patreon poll. For the next episode, you can choose between Rhinestone, One from the Heart, The Wiz, A Night in Heaven, A Chorus Line, Sharpay's Fabulous Adventure, and Tommy. Make your pick over at patreon.com/The Cinema Snob, or click the link in the description. It's a poll where most of the choices are the throwaway melodrama choice.
Howdy. Howdy.
Howdy.
Howdy.
Howdy do.
Howdy. Howdy. Howdy do.
Howdy.
Howdy.
Howdy do.
Howdy.